At this point, it very much looks like the J6 pipe bomb was a setup after all.
What did we tell you about January 6th? We've been telling you about, well, we told you a lot of things. This isn't the pipe bomb story. This is about the Capitol. That there were people within the Trump administration who warned repeatedly, talk to Kash Patel about this, repeatedly, hey, there may be instigators in the crowd. We may have an issue on January 6th. Let's get the place secured. And the lefty said, really? Here's Nancy Pelosi in a video just released, ironically taken by her daughter. I don't know what they were doing, some documentary or something that day, where Nancy Pelosi basically admits to that exact thing. She tries to blame Trump, but she's like, yeah, man, we really should have gotten these people out here. It's incredible how we are like, we just cannot, we're not even bunting anymore. Here, watch this.
We're not prepared for the worst. We're calling the National Guard now. Should have been here to if they stop with this we will have totally failed. And we've got to take some responsibility for not holding this authority accountable for what could have happened.
Is there any clear bit of evidence now that Pelosi, how many times do members have to ask, are we prepared? They knew. They knew there were going to be instigators there. Yet they're trying to pin this on you like you did something wrong. Pelosi's knee deep in this thing. Now does the pipe bomb scandal start to make sense? Folks, I'm going to put it all together for you. I'm going to lay out for you in a paragraph what I am absolutely firmly committed to happened on January 6th. They had to stop, they meaning the Democrats and probably some swampy Republicans. They had to stop certification questioning from happening. Remember, January 6th is certification day where they all certify the vote and you have effectively a president-elect, Biden, and a vice president-elect Harris. Everybody tracking? I don't mean to restate the obvious, but there are some liberals listening. That was when they officially became president-elect and vice president-elect. There were significant problems with the 2020 election, too numerous to listen. Pennsylvania, mail-in balloting, all of it. I have zero doubt there was significant cheating involved. Republicans planned that day to use the legal process to protest the vote, and they all were going to be given floor time to go and make that case. That case, I believe, was devastating. The Democrats could not have the entire nation watching the evidence and the dirty laundry get aired. Everybody tracking? Follow me in the chat, please, because this is really important you understand that. They had to have a plan to stop the Republicans from speaking without, what were they going to do? Jump them on the floor? I believe the plan was to place these two pipe bombs at the RNC in the lot near the Capitol Hill Club and at the DNC, and to have a friendly find them while Kamala Harris was there and then say, oh my gosh, the MAGA people are trying to kill the first black female vice president. She was at the DNC for a quick meeting. No more objections. Everybody just do the right thing and certify this vote or someone's going to get killed. Does that make sense to everyone? Pelosi's mad at what happened at the Capitol, obviously for obvious reasons. But I think she's also pissed off because if she would have got the National Guard to control what happened at the Capitol, I think their whole plan would have materialized with them finding the bomb without any of this additional stuff. Yes, I'm telling you, this is what happened. She knows, and she must have known at that point that I'm telling you right now, I don't think they expected that to happen at the Capitol. I think they expected something to happen, and I think there were a lot of instigators there, but I don't think they expected that to happen. And that's what their initial plan was, these pipe bombs. And then when the pipe bombs were discovered, they didn't need it because they were like, now we've got this riot. We'll just use that to shut the thing down. But then everyone was like, well, what the hell are we going to say about these pipe bombs? We just found them. And someone must have told someone, stand down. Now, let me put the cherry on the top of this. From an extremely well-placed source, this is how I know they did not want anyone to find who placed the pipe bombs, because it was probably some anti-Trump activist working with some of these people. A friend on the scene who was working in a capacity, let's say, on that day, was tasked with finding the pipe bomber quickly when nobody knew who it was or what was going on. And the oddest thing happened. Just a short time after he was told, hey, man, go dispatch and find that guy, he was told, don't you worry, stand down and don't you ask any questions. Fact. That happened. Source, again, is unimpeachable. Photo evidence to prove it, by the way. Don't doubt me. Don't doubt me. This source was told to stand down. Why? Because they didn't want you to know anything about these things, because the Capitol riot broke out and they said, hey, we've already got a riot. We don't need these pipe bombs anymore. Let's make it go away. Tell everyone it was a training exercise. Folks, I've been getting calls left and right from whistleblowers that are just, to say fed up with the Secret Service is probably an understatement. They're tired of being fed up with the Secret Service, because we used to say in the Secret Service, you screw this up, someone could get killed. Someone did get killed. Corey Comparator was murdered. 3 other people were shot, including President Trump. There's no more like, oh, if we screw up, someone could get killed. Somebody got killed. And the people in charge are the people who made the decisions, I believe, led to the faulty security plan that got Corey Comparator killed in front of his family. But it's not just that. I'm not letting this agency go down in flames. I'm sorry. I was very proud to be a part of it. I work with good guys. A whistleblower, multiple whistleblowers, have been calling me about 2 specific cases for weeks. Let's start number 1 with the cocaine story. So I've been working on this for a long time. Remember the cocaine that was found at the White House? You want to talk about a case. I know folks in the Secret Service, I know you're watching. I know this is true. So please, resign now before I start making names public on this, because I will, because I know the names. All right? It's time for you all to step down. Ron Rowe included. You know what you did. As Susan Crabtree, an excellent reporter, has already reported on, they got a partial hit off the baggie. Do we need to do the baggie demo again? Here's a baggie. It's not porous. If you were to put cocaine or drugs in it and drop it somewhere in the White House, there's going to be a fingerprint or some DNA on it. That's just how this works. They got a partial DNA hit. That DNA hit and that evidence is currently stored in an evidence locker. Let's just say the people in charge of the evidence locker, many of them have been squeezed by headquarters people and managers in charge, some of whom are still there. You better destroy this baggie. Now, why? Here's what I'm hearing from whistleblowers, that they are suspicious that the partial DNA hit could match a member of the inner Biden circle, of which there may be DNA samples already, which wouldn't be hard to marry up to the partial hit. Is everybody picking up what I'm putting down? People in the White House are panicked about the partial DNA hit potentially matching one of them. So they need to get rid of the baggie. The problem is, Secret Service administrative rules dictate that the evidence needs to be held in the locker for 7 years. It's not 7 years. It's not even close. So multiple communications. How exactly is still up in the air? Pressuring people in the Forensic Services Division of the Secret Service. Don't make me name names, folks. I'm giving you an opportunity to clear this thing up. Multiple people have reached out pressuring people within the Forensic Services Division that you better destroy that baggie, and they won't do it. So a whistleblower tells me with pretty good evidence, and media people, you should probably start asking questions about this. You got your pens? Write it down. That some people have been transferred and given really nice assignments to field offices that may control the area where Biden's going to be post-presidency. And some of those people may have jurisdiction over if that baggie were to be destroyed or not. What's up? That sounds kind of shady. Wouldn't be hard to figure out, right? Anybody got transferred lately? There talk of people getting transferred? Who controls and will control? Who is the Secret Service special agent in charge? Who in his jurisdiction will be Biden's home in Delaware post-presidency? Someone should look that up. Someone should really check that out. And you should ask, has anybody been transferred? And where did they come from? Folks, this is an enormous scandal. Another one. Tarnishing the image of an agency I'm very proud of, full of amazing people. If this were the perfect world right now, I could read to you probably 150, 200 texts from active and retired Secret Service guys who were so done with the Secret Service management. I can't even describe in words the level of doneness they are. There is this scandal on top of scandal on top of scandal. They have a partial DNA hit. They can easily figure out whose cocaine bag that was. And the bottom line, this story, I'm not even done before I get on to the next scandal. This isn't even the only whistleblower thing I had. These are different whistleblowers. It's really easy to find out who has custody of that baggie right now. And let me tell you something right now. The only reason, you may say, why are you holding back a little bit? The only reason, and because I'm being tactical about this and smart, if that bag disappears, if Donald Trump gets elected and there's new leadership in the Secret Service, and in violation of the Secret Service's own evidence rules, someone makes that bag disappear and got a transfer, we know who they are. I know. You better think twice about it, because now other journalists know too, because I told them to watch. And they'll probably be asking questions about these transfers. And if that bag still exists, is that bag going anywhere? Was there a quid pro quo? I'd like to know. You do work for the taxpayer. I'm one of them. You destroy the baggie and we'll take care of you with this. Listen, guys, in the Secret Service, the managers there, I'm not your problem. You're your problem. I got my own problems to deal with. You're your problem. It's time to resign. It's not going to get any better. I promise you. People are coming out with new information every day. You ready for number 2? Here's another one. Separate whistleblower reaches out to me. And this I've been working on for a while. This isn't new. Folks, let's just get this out of the way about January 6th. It is now confirmed. I mean, you knew this in advance. So this is why I put this first. This is not breaking news. However, I can confirm to you, in case you were even remotely deluded about it, say you're a lefty watching my show, that the FBI 100% had undercovers in the crowd on January 6th. I know you know that. I'm just saying Christopher Wray's been shady about it and others. I'm telling you from a source on the ground with photo evidence to back it up. The FBI and other agencies, not just the FBI, by the way, had multiple undercovers on the ground on January 6th. Period. There's now no disputing it. I've seen the evidence. Number 2, the pipe bombs that were placed at the DNC and the RNC that I believe were planted there on purpose by people looking to frame Trump supporters, to stop the objection to the certification of the vote. They didn't want people talking about voter fraud problems, so they needed this. After the pipe bombs were found, assets on the ground, including a whistleblower who was not there but was one of the assets on the ground, was briefed about the pipe bombs the next day and shown a picture of a guy in a hoodie. Hey, we're looking for this guy, planted these pipe bombs. And they were like, wow, that's crazy. Almost killed Kamala Harris, God forbid. This whistleblower tells me that, but 2 days later, after the pipe bombs, he notes, emphasis his, without explanation, they were told to stand down. No need to look for the guy anymore, which is really strange because the FBI is telling us now there's like a $22 trillion reward for finding this guy. 500,000. You get the point. So the FBI is trying to find the guy, but not trying to find the guy 2 days later when the evidence trail was hot. Why do you think that is? Because maybe in that period they found out who the guy was and they were like, oh shit, we can't have them knowing that. Point 4. This whistleblower believes very strongly, emphasis his, that the pipe bomber may be a government contractor. What? What the hell? This whistleblower's record with me is 100%. We're not destroying this bag. I have no reason to doubt, given his expertise, that he's giving me an accurate assessment of the situation, but he believes with near certainty that the pipe bomber may be a government contractor. Finally, a different whistleblower tells me that there was, let's just say, a report written up after the pipe bombing incident on January 6th, that when some of these things were mentioned about the pipe bomber was, quote, squashed, the report. They had to make that report go away. Seems kind of strange if you're still looking for the pipe bomber, isn't it? That you tell everyone to stand down, they write up a report with valuable information, and they're like, we need to squash that. I'm asking people very seriously in the mainstream media. I'm not trying to be an asshole, okay? I know you guys don't like me. I don't like you either. I am actually begging you right now. I'm giving you the tips. You should be asking about recent transfers within the Secret Service. Who was in charge of what? Who was in charge of that baggie, that partial DNA hit, and has it been destroyed? These are not hard questions. I know the answers. Do you? Second, you should be asking, were any reports generated on the pipe bomber? What happened to those reports? Was that, in fact, a government contractor? Are there any indicators he was a government contractor? Who was the guy in the Alexandria train station? Who was the guy in the hoodie you showed to the pictures? You showed the pictures to. How many FBI undercovers were in the crowd that day? How many other agencies? Are you going to ask these questions? Again, I know the answers. Maybe it's time you did. And again, I'm just going to say to the managers in the Secret Service, you destroyed the agency, not me. Every day I get there are tips I haven't even gotten to yet because this stuff was a priority. And there's more coming.
Huge hat tip again to Dan Bongino, Tom Fitton, Darren Beattie, Julie Kelly, and a handful of others who are shedding light on this important subject. I promise to stay on top of this story, and I'll continue to bring you important information as it breaks. The key now is for you to go out and ask everybody you know, have you heard about the J6 pipe bomb cover-up? And if they have no clue what you're talking about, send them this clip. We cannot let the deep state and the mainstream media memory hold this, especially since it's unresolved and nobody's been held accountable. Do not rely on the mainstream media to ever cover this. You can't rely on podcasters and alternative media to be the only ones trying to get this story out, especially if you're sadly hearing about this for the first time. I can't stress enough how important it is for you to be going out and helping to disseminate this information. Spread these stories to other people. You have to share these stories with everyone you know. The facts circumstantially implicate a person who's running for president in the cover-up. The facts circumstantially implicate Kamala Harris. Yikes! It doesn't mean she's guilty, but her suspicious silence clearly points to circumstantial complicity. There was an alleged bomb attack targeting the incoming vice president from a potential MAGA wacko. Why hasn't this been a major talking point? Why hasn't Kamala Harris said anything about it? And why isn't anyone in the mainstream media talking about it? Right? And we all know in our current Orwellian ministry of truth, if you don't talk about a story, it's as if it didn't happen. But we have the power to counter that. You have the power to counter that. Send this clip and this information to everyone you know. Whistleblowers just keep coming out. It's as if they're falling from the sky. Yikes! I'll continue to bring you stories like these as they develop. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Thank God for Dan Bongino. There's no better online voice out there to comment or give insight on this subject. And right now, nobody does it better than him. And again, I don't know Dan Bongino. I don't profit off of Dan Bongino. I am just trying to do my small part to shed light on an important topic. If wrongdoing is uncovered, there are people that need to be held accountable. If Kamala Harris is involved in the cover-up, we have a right to know. And if there wasn't wrongdoing, why all the lies? Why all the deception? None of this passes the smell test. Relevant links are in the description below. If you found this information as disturbing as I do, hit that like button, leave a comment, join the channel, and share, share, share. Our job collectively is just to continue to shed light on the crazy. God bless America, God bless this podcast, and God bless you. Stay frosty, my friends. And nobody's been held accountable. Yikes!